All right, let's dive into a truly chilling origin story, the creation of the Silent City. It's born from a cosmic design, a plan for absolute and perfect silence. We're going to explore this blueprint for nothingness.
So, at the very heart of this thing is a concept they call the grand architecture. Now, this isn't about chaos or random destruction. Oh no. It's a meticulously designed higher plan with one single goal: to turn all of existence into a perfected nullity. Basically, an engineered absolute zero.
And where does a plan like this even begin? Well, you probably picked the most desolate place imaginable, right? A cold, obsidian balcony on the dark side of the moon. It's right here that the two architects of this whole endgame meet up, ready to kick off what they call the Age of Darkness.
And the language they use here is so important. The goal isn't just to break the world, but to stain and reconstruct it. It's actually a creative act, which is wild to think about. But it's an act that builds a monument to silence. It's a complete cosmic transformation.
So, who are these architects of the end? First up, we meet the muscle of the operation, the brute force, the Sapphire Jester. His title, the Engineer of the Zero.
I mean, this description tells you everything you need to know. This guy is not subtle. He's a walking industrial engine of pure destruction. That Z-pinch core humming like a dying star, yeah, that just perfectly captures his whole deal. He's here to dismantle the physical universe, one piece at a time.
And his methods? Just as direct as he looks. He doesn't negotiate with reality, he just unmakes it. He literally vaporizes mountains. And for him, the very essence of a living being, a soul, is nothing more than fuel for his furnace. We're talking total molecular erasure on a planetary scale.
And this really gets to the core of how he thinks. To the Jester, existence itself is just a flawed machine, a trap that needs to be broken down. And all of us, our individuality, our hopes, our dreams, to him, it's just noise, Static on the screen that he is here to wipe completely clean. He brings about the end, period.
But brute force can only get you so far. This whole plan has another, much more insidious side. So let's meet the unholy Moon King, the alchemists of the eclipse.
The contrast here is immediate. Where the Jester is a roaring furnace, the King is like a creeping shadow. He actually finds the Jester's methods, just simple destruction, to be crude. He's not interested in just breaking things. He's here to corrupt them from the inside out.
And you can see just how sophisticated he is in his method. He calls it reverse alchemy. He doesn't burn souls. Instead, he takes that spark of reason, the very thing that makes us sentient, and he transmutes it with this metaphysical plague. He literally turns light into willing darkness.
And this quote, this gets to the absolute core of who he is. He doesn't want to destroy a soul for its energy, not like the Jester does. No, he wants the philosophical victory. He wants the eclipse, that moment a soul finally gives in and chooses despair. That's a much, much more terrifying goal, don't you think?
So, we've got the Destroyer and the Corruptor. Two totally different approaches, but like the source material says, they're really just two faces of the same cold coin. So let's see how they actually fit together.
The whole dynamic is framed perfectly right here. On one side, you've got the Forge, that's the Jester, bringing the end by just smashing the machine. But on the other side, you've got the Moon, the King, who's trying to achieve the perfection of the fall by getting the machine to break itself. One is an execution, the other is a conversion.
And their roles become crystal clear when you put them side by side like this. Just look at how they see the soul. One sees it as fuel, the other as a spark to be twisted and turned. Their contributions are perfectly complementary. The Jester provides the pinch, the raw physical force to crush all resistance, while the King projects the lunar shadow to drown any spiritual will that's left. One breaks the body, the other breaks the spirit.
So how in the world do these two opposing forces actually build something together? Well, the source material gives us this fantastic analogy to explain it. Think of it like building a great tomb.
Okay, so first you've got the Jester. He's the laborer, right? He does all the heavy lifting. He's clearing the ground, breaking the stone, and building the physical structure. He constructs this windowless vault, a perfect empty container. Then the unholy Moon King shows up. His job is to perfect the interior.
He steps inside the Jester's perfectly built vault, and he snuffs out the last torch, filling the space with this absolute metaphysical darkness that just consumes all light and all hope.
And this is exactly why they need each other. The king's power, his corrupting shadow, it's formless. Without the physical walls that the Jester built, his darkness would just dissipate. It would have no container, no shape.
And of course, the reverse is just as true. Without the king's metaphysical work, the Jester's creation would be impressive, sure, but ultimately meaningless. It would just be a big, empty room. The king is the one who transforms it from an empty structure into a true monument to the void.
And that's when their unified goal becomes so clear. They are trying to just burn the solar system down to ash. That's way too simple for them. They're working together to transform it into a cold moon, a silent, lightless, and perfectly nullified state of being.
Which leaves us with this final, chilling question. The grand architecture sees all of life, all of creation, as just chaotic noise. And their project, the Silent City, is their answer. But what does that really mean? What is the nature of a silence that had to be so meticulously, so violently built? Definitely something to think about.